views across the House, and thank all those for taking the time to attend and participate in this important and sensitive debate.
My Lords, I'm grateful to all noble Lords who've spoken in the debate. I'm not proposing to answer them individually, but I will just make some comments, if I may, about the extraordinary speech made by the noble Baroness Lady Kennedy of the Shores. The first thing is, nobody, certainly not I, made any deprecatory remarks about the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. And the idea that we were holding them in institutional, or I was holding them in institutional contempt, is simply not borne out by anything that was said. All that was said is that other professional bodies of equal reputation have reached different views, and that a forum for bringing them together so that something could be worked out that might have a more robust character was something that could be recommended. But it was complete fantasy and totally unfair to claim that we had said, or I had said, anything deprecatory about the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. And the second thing I feel I have to say is that given an opportunity, as she was, to state that she did not think that I was in receipt of dark money or any money in relation to this, her only answer was to accuse me of being an innocent dupe. I do think, my Lords, that that does fall, well, it is not, without making any judgment, I will say that I've never heard anything like that said in your Lordship's house in the admittedly short years I've been here. I will only repeat, in a way, what I said earlier in response to the noble Baroness, which is that the right to an abortion, any right that depends on blanking out developing scientific knowledge, cannot be regarded as a very robust right. In relation to remarks made by the noble Baroness Lady Barker, she was suggesting that somehow the evidence was going to be selected before this committee, was going to be selected. I've really no idea where this idea comes from or who it is she thinks is going to do the selection. But it brings me to another point, and that is a point of genuine, possibly, I'm sure, genuine misunderstanding, which I have to attribute, the fault for which I have to attribute to myself, which is that the suggestion by some noble lords, in particular the noble Baroness Lady Thornton, was that the committee was going to be full of politicians or politically appointed persons. That was never my intention. I thought I'd made it clear. Perhaps now I realise it should have been made clear on the face of the bill, and that is something that could happily be addressed by an amendment, that the membership of the committee was to be made up of experts with scientific knowledge. That is how it would generate scientific knowledge and examine research. And of course, leading amongst those experts, I would expect appropriately chosen representatives of the relevant royal colleges and other professional bodies, not politicians at all. No. I don't think the Animal Welfare Sentience Committee, to take an example which does provide a parallel, is stuffed with politicians or political appointees. I think it's got members who know something about animals and how they respond to pain. But that is a point which may be a genuine misunderstanding, and one I'd be happy to address, as I say, in committee. As far as the Minister's response is concerned, I'm grateful for his tone, but very sorry to hear his content and the fact that he feels he can't agree. In effect, as another noble lord pointed out, he is rejecting an opportunity. Indeed, I think it was the noble Baroness Lady Smith of Newnham, rejecting an opportunity to make policy making more robust and evidence-based. He's also saying, and there were some very clever but totally unpersuasive words about the Animal Welfare Sentience Committee. He's also effectively saying that the government's view is that crustaceans deserve a higher esteem and regard than the human fetus. Neither position, in my view, is sustainable. But with that, my lords, I beg to move.
The question is that this bill be now read a second time. As many as are of that opinion will say content. The contrary, not content. The contents have it.
like to move that this bill be committed to a committee of the whole House.
The question is that this bill be committed to a committee of the whole House. As many of that opinion will say content,